A cautionary tale from a Halifax area senior who came home from a family visit to Alberta with a lot more than he bargained for. He experienced a medical emergency during the trip, requiring that a stent be implanted in his heart. He says the care was excellent and the medical care was covered. CTV's Bruce Frisco tonight with the uninsured service that produced a $25,000 bill.
Content in retirement after a long career as an airline technician, Robert Carroll is happy to spend quiet time at home with his wife of more than 50 years. Last year, he and Pat made the trek to northern Alberta to visit his son and family. But the trip turned out to be memorable in more ways than one.
So we were out there about a week, I guess. Jesus, one night I couldn't breathe.
It turned out to be a serious heart problem, and doctors quickly determined he needed a stent. Stuck in hospital in Grand Prairie, the first surgery in Edmonton was canceled after he'd been flown there by air ambulance. He made the trip a second time later in the week, but not before expressing concerns about the cost to his doctor. He was reassured everything was covered.
The government pays for it. Don't worry about the cost. Right. Well, that made me feel better.
4 months later, the bills from Alberta Health rolled in, totaling about $25,000. Family in Alberta lobbied hard to reduce it, but it still sits around $14,000, a lot of money for a retired couple.
I thought it was all covered. Yeah. And, you know, something like that could affect your rating or anything.
In a statement to CTV News, the Canadian Life and Health Insurance Association says what happened in this case highlights that coverage differs from province to province, particularly for ambulance costs. Extended health coverage through an employer or an individual purchase is designed to play a part in covering costs not covered by a patient's province or residence. The Nova Scotia government notes ambulance service is subsidized for residents within the province, but visitors get the full bill, as is the case in almost every province. Bottom line, all Nova Scotia residents who travel outside Nova Scotia and outside Canada are encouraged to purchase travel health insurance. Although he'd been cleared by his own doctor to make the trip, Robert Carroll does have advice for other seniors who want to travel.
Well, I guess it should be checked into before you decide to travel.
Thoughtful words from a man content in retirement, but saddled with a financial burden he'd rather forget. Bruce Frisco, CTV News, Lance, Nova Scotia.